Hey everyone, it is the last Thursday of the month, which means you are getting some inside looks at our bonus content over on Patreon. Hopefully, you have already gone over to see some of the free Patreon bonus content. We had an extra clip with Alrenthia Carter on Love is Blind Season 6, and we had some blog posts about what happens when I start to feel foolish. One of them is a very spooky ghost story. So if you're missing Halloween, go on over to Patreon. The paid for bonus content that will be teased in today's episode are from our March's Misogyny Meltdown, which was all about International Women's History Month, and our Team Tolerator check-in, where we celebrated even more women's work by having Darcy come on to review with me one of my favorite new movies, Lisa Frankenstein. So, for the Misogyny Meltdown, you'll hear a little bit of my opening monologue, a game GD and I played called Feminist Icon, and then a little bit of the discussion that Julia Washington, Alrenthia Carter, and I had about historical women's representation in media. That eventually turned into all women's representation in media. If you would like to join the Patreon, don't forget that there is a 7-day trial in all tiers. That should be enough time to at least watch maybe 3 of our bonus episodes, whether they be Team Tolerator check-ins or Misogyny Meltdown. I hope to see you all over on the Patreon. Drop me a DM if you have any questions about any of the tiers. Hey everyone, this is the Misogyny Meltdown, the only show where we use celebrating women as a witty dig at male fragility. This episode, we will be celebrating International Women's Month. Can you believe this month was coined for us girls all the way back in 1975? That means we're roughly 50 years out from when men offered us a token holiday instead of fixing the infrastructures we suffer under. Thanks, fellas. I'd like to take a moment to remind you of some things women have accomplished within the last few years. You know, COVID hit us hard. When it comes to who was successful in re-entering the workforce, it turns out it wasn't us. But you know, one of us was able to snag a pretty historic job. What? Ew. No, not the trad wives. Ugh. Their views are archaic, not historic. I said historic. Historic? Thank you. Yes, much better. I am not an expert in sports, but I hear it was a good year for women in sports. Serena Williams won the Jackie Robinson Sports Award at the 2023 NAACP Image Awards for her excellence in tennis, business, and philanthropy. And then we had some blonde put a little known sport on the map for all of us. You know, I really think it's nice that she's been taking her music back from a man and costing him money, and then doing the nice charitable thing and making other bozos money. We call that balance. Margaret Atwood published her first book of poetry in over a decade. Dearly is a collection of poems about love, loss, and the passage of time. Let's all hope we take inspiration from this collection and start to veer away from hurtling towards the world she built in The Handmaid's Tale. JD, happy International Women's History Month.
Happy International Women's History Month.
Do you think you have what it takes to surpass this International Women's History Month challenge?
You know what? I'm going to say that, like, I hope I do, but if I don't, it's because I'm just a humble man. It's like that song. He's just a man.
Just a man. That's right.
I'm just Ken. I'm just JD.
Because here on the Misogyny Meltdown, we humble men through the art of comedy. So, and JD is a true ally and a true feminist because he allows me to do this to him.
100%, 100%.
And that's the difference. That's why Ryan Gosling is an ally and everyone else isn't.
Take notes, gentlemen. Take notes.
Take notes. Okay, so this is how our game Feminist Icon is going to work. I am going to change my screen and probably weave to get out of the way.
Yep.
And there will be a feminist icon that you have to name.
Okay.
And then you have to tell me why I think they're a feminist icon because there are correct answers.
Okay, gotcha. And I'm assuming also incorrect answers.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I feel like you're about to throw like really good ones at me that are gonna really throw me. Like
I'm gonna start out easy.
All right, cool.
We're gonna, I love a like ramp.
Yeah. You gotta start. You can't. The $1 million question has to be harder than the $100 question.
100%. And then don't worry. I told you to also come prepared.
Yes.
So that you could redeem yourself a little bit and you're going to try and throw me the misogyny expert.
100%.
All right. Let's have a misogyny meltdown and play feminist icon. Our first feminist icon. Who is this?
That is, oh my God. Hold on. Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Oh my God. Could you imagine if you got RBG wrong?
It was like, okay, like, when you know it. And like, it was like at the tip of my tongue. I was like, oh my God. Please don't fuck up. Why is she a feminist icon? Why is she not a feminist icon? First of all, like, Ruth Bader Ginsburg is one of the pioneers of Roe v. Wade, and she was one of the ones in the 70s that got that passed into law, protecting women's rights and medical rights through abortion and other women's services.
Yeah, sure. That was a fantastic answer. People should be clapping for you. The correct answer is she is the definition of, but do you even lift, bro?
Okay, that's totally spot on. She totally is. Oh, because she's lifting in that. I thought that was a microphone. See, I got all nervous because I couldn't think of her name right away, and I didn't look at the details. And actually, I'm pretty sure they've done scientific studies. I'm going to mansplain for a second here. They've done scientific studies that show that men actually don't pay attention to detail as much, and that's why I didn't notice that shit. Do you even lift, bro?
Do you even lift, bro? She's stronger than all of my exes. She was stronger, may she rest in peace, than all of my exes and all of my friends' current partners.
100%. 100%.
100%. All right. So you almost botched that. That made me nervous. I was like, not Ruth. All right. Here's our next one.
All right. Let's see.
Do you know who this is?
Okay. Hold on. Is that one of Henry VIII's wives?
Which one?
Anne Boleyn.
That is Queen Anne Boleyn. Do you know why she's a feminist icon?
Okay, hold on. So a lot of my like knowledge about Anne Boleyn comes from the show The Tudors. I'm gonna say if we're going based on that, and if it's historically accurate, I'm not positive that it is, but I'm going to guess because I feel like she knew she was doomed. She saw it coming, but like she had a moment of like where she kind of like a little bit like crazy, but then she fucking took that shit. She fucking accepted it, embraced it, and she stared that shit down and said, "Fuck you, Henry."
She was very kind to him during her execution.
I meant metaphorically.
Okay. I was like, no, JD, none of them. All of King Henry's wives that he sent to death, glowing reviews. They were like, I know that the king is doing this because of God. And
that's a whole discussion.
Yeah. So that was an answer. It's actually because it takes a true icon to make a man break up with the Pope in Catholicism just so you'd give him a blowjob. I don't know. Should we change the topic of the meltdown to Netflix being childish?
No, I made notes for today. But also maybe whatever, it's your show.
Okay, audience, put a pin in it. At one point, we will just melt down that Netflix is childish. But welcome, Julia and Alrenthia, to the Misogyny Meltdown. And thank you for being the fierce, strong women who are with me today to talk about other fierce, strong women.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Nobody could see me, but I was doing the yeah.
I will remind you that people can see you. The Misogyny Meltdown is a video for us.
Oh, I should have put on my glasses and makeup. I forgot about that.
Hey, everybody, this is me. You're seeing me on the scout.
I have been posting clips, video clips, mind you, on the internet.
That's right. And I've been liking them.
Okay. Well,
I'm
so
sorry.
happy International Women's Month, the time of the year where you really know how people care about you and your work.
Yeah. Performatively, the time when you know when the performative actions come out.
The performative actions. And I was trying to think about it because I don't think the Amy Winehouse movie comes out this month. I think it comes out later this year.
I think it's a summer. It's a summer film.
So I was like, what was our performative like movie for March? And we didn't have one. We had Lisa Frankenstein and Drive-By Dolls and Love Lies Bleeding, which are all, I categorize them all as queer movies.
You know what's really offensive though is that Marky Mark has a movie coming out about a dog that he finds while he's running a race, and I'm just like, how dare you, Marky Mark? Like, you're trying to convert all of us. Stop it.
And it's like what's the other movie about the dog that just came out like last year? And it was the dude from Magic Mike.
Yeah.
Channing Tatum, and he's in the army, and the dog helps him be a soldier.
Because the dog's person dies during service, so he has to take the dog home.
Yeah, which is basically just you're a delivery guy. You know what I mean? Like military. I mean, military propaganda and man propaganda. In one film, dog propaganda is fine.
Yes, we'll take dog propaganda.
We love dogs.
We love dogs. With that said,
well, you know, I guess like the feminist thing for this month is probably Princess Kate, right?
Oh my gosh, yes. Where is Kate?
Like, I wasn't really interested because I'm Team Meghan and Diana, you know what I mean? But now I'm kind of like, the fantasy I have in my head is that she's been cool the whole time.
Yeah.
And has been like, you know what? She's like Selma Blair in Legally Blonde.
Okay.
She hated Meghan at first because she was buying into her internalized misogyny.
Okay.
Realized that she was cool. She's run away, and maybe she's in Santa Barbara
with them.
Meghan and Harry.
And she can't take the kids because of the property of the crown.
Yeah. And they're having a good time. They're having drinks on their lanai.
I'm not mad at this. Yeah.
That's so much better because like my innate Capricorn personality of just having to be right and logical and the most right answer, I'm like, she's sick and she's resting. Like she's like deathly ill and she is resting. Like I'm not allowing myself to have any fun bits about it. I did like when they were like, maybe she's on The Masked Singer. I was like, I would love that.
Yeah. That's your show. I love it.
So I have some generalized tropes that I believe Hollywood, in order to make our dumb brains understand people, put historical women in, even if they don't deserve to be in that trope.
Okay.
So like we have our historical sluts, the Anne Boleyns, the Cleopatras, the Helen of Troy's, our sluts. We have our martyrs, the people who like give up their family. I was trying to think about this today because I was thinking about the RBG movie that I did see, and I looked at the movie poster today, and can I remember the name of the movie? No.
On the Basis of Sex.
Yes.
Oh, that's right. Because I was like, Masters of Sex? That's another show.
That's a different show.
Different show. Completely different show, Althea.
And I just remember how, and this happens a lot with like historical women in film, that at some point in every scene, they have to remind you like this woman gets to be great at the expense of her children and her family.
Erin Brockovich.
Aaron Brockovich. I was like, men are never great at the expense of me, whether or not I'm traumatized or not.
Yeah.
Like, men just Oppenheimer just gets to make the bomb.
Okay, so my meltdown part was literally outlining how Kitty Oppenheimer and Jean Tatlock's Wikipedias are more interesting than their characters in Oppenheimer.
As you know, I did not watch the
which is fine
13-hour movie about the bomb.
Which is fine because you know my opinion, which was I really wish I had that time back because I'm so mad about the portrayal of these two women and the lack of dimension that they had. Kitty's like a drunk who didn't want her kids the whole time, and then Jean had she had psychiatry issues. But both of these women are highly educated, studying in fields that are male dominated, diminished to the drunk and the slut.
Hey, Patreon members, thank you so much for supporting the show this month. As you know, for March, we are celebrating women and the work of women. So I have one of my favorite women here, Darcy, from our wrestling episodes, and she's joined Elizabeth to talk to us about horror. And that's what we're doing today. We're going to celebrate Lisa Frankenstein because there's been nothing girlier since the Barbie movie than Lisa Frankenstein.
Agreed. I loved this movie.
I've been going to cheap movie night pretty religiously. I go at least 2 or 3 times a month.
Okay.
So I am at a point where people are seeing trailers for the first time that I feel like I've been waiting on the movie for years. And that's how it was for like Lisa Frankenstein. I'm like, when's Lisa Frankenstein coming out? When? I want it now.
Right? I didn't know about it until I think I maybe heard a little bit about it, but only a month before it came out. I feel like I kind of I was like, what is this? And I just knew right away. I was like, I'm going to see it regardless. I didn't really know what to expect, but it definitely exceeded my expectations. Well, I mean, right before I went to the movie, I found out that it was the same writer as Jennifer's Body.
Uh-huh.
And that was like, oh, okay, so this movie is going to be awesome. And
yeah.
It was. It sure was.
Let me go ahead and read this little synopsis for everyone who didn't make it to the movie theater. Although Lisa Frankenstein is streaming, don't ask me what platform, but I know you can rent it somewhere. Lisa Frankenstein is a 2024 American comedy horror film directed by Zelda Williams in her feature-length directorial debut. We love to see it. And written by Diablo Cody, the writer of Jennifer's Body, another cult family classic.
Amazing. Cult family classic, for sure.
The film stars Catherine Newton, Cole Sprouse, Liza. I saw that Z and went, Lisa. That's
right,
a name.
Right. That's where I would go too.
Liza Soberano, Henry Elkenberry, Joe Crest, and Carla Gugino. I've never been able to say her last name correctly. The plot follows a misunderstood teenage goth girl who meets and develops a relationship with a reanimated Victorian-era corpse. And Cody has gone ahead and let us know that Lisa Frankenstein is, in fact, set in the same fictional universe as Jennifer's Body.
Yes. Where just about anything can happen.
About anything can happen. Where do you want to start?
I mean, we could maybe go through the characters a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we just gush on Lisa for a little bit?
Yeah, we can. I loved her. And I didn't even realize that she is actually the same girl that's in Freaky.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen Freaky?
I haven't seen Freaky.
Oh, you haven't? Oh, it's good. You would love it. You would love it. But she stars in that too. And it just kind of makes sense. They have a similar vibe, I guess, kind of thing. But I loved the character front to back. She was just amazing. I loved her acceleration into goth clothes and her attire that she was wearing. That was a big thing for me.
Some background on Lisa. She is currently living with her father, her stepmother, and her stepsister because her mother was brutally murdered during a break-in.
Yeah, and it was only like a year or two before.
Right. Because men get remarried quickly.
So quickly.
And because her father did what a lot of men do and just band-aid married someone else, he just fully expects that Lisa is over it too. There's no therapy in the Lisa Frankenstein universe.
No.
There are self-help books on tape.
Yes, just do it in person.
Do it in person or just keep listening to Dr. Phil on a cassette tape.
Right.
What I love the most about Lisa is she's insecure in the most confident way.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way to put it.
She realizes that she's a weirdo and she's like, I'm just weird. So I'll just stand here quietly while my very pretty stepsister takes me to a party. Or I'm pretty sure that the boy I like doesn't like me back, but I will write him a check yes or no letter and drop it in his locker. Like, she's just your quintessential, like, romantic teen girl who's like,
Yes.
oh, the entire
Totally.
time.
I love like how when it opens, it has like the cemetery and like her like hanging out in the cemetery, and I love that it's like an abandoned cemetery in the middle of, it's in the middle of the cut through, whatever that is, between neighborhoods, I guess. But she's in love with this. Well, I wouldn't say she's in love with. She's enamored with this tombstone that has like a man etched. I don't know, how would you, like a sculpture?
It's like a bust. It's like a bust on top of yeah.
And she just is so, she like makes, what does she say? Like, I wish I was with you or something.
I wish I was with you. Yeah.
It's so weird. And I love when she's telling Taffy's the sister. And I love when she's telling Taffy in the car, like, about it. And Taffy's like, that's really weird. And she's like, no, it's like totally normal. Like, I love how nonchalant she was about her hanging out in the cemetery.
Right. She's like, my mom's dead. I hang out in cemeteries. I have done what many 16-year-old girls have done before me. And I have created an entire backstory for a man that I will never know. And I'm in love with him. And that's fine.
It's so good. It's so good.
I also feel like she made up a lot about his backstory, but because this is like 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
Time period.
I think it's 1889, I think is the year.
It's the brink of the 90s.
Yeah.
For someone who doesn't have the internet, she like knows a lot about the corpse.
She does know a lot about the corpse. I didn't really think about that. I feel like, did we ever even get the name? Or no, it's like kind of cracked out. Or, like, it's like
I'm looking it up right now because I was just wondering that too. I was like, do we just continue to call him the corpse?
I did notice he was credited as the creature.
Oh.
Which I loved because the whole movie has like very Universal monsters vibes, obviously with Frankenstein. And I was like going more towards Bride of Frankenstein, but it's also kind of like Creature from the Black Lagoon vibes. Like, I just love like that old school monster vibe. And I just felt like Lisa Frank, and then also like the Lisa Frank aspect of it, where it was just so bright and colorful. And I'm not sure if it was intentional, but I hope it was.
Annie and I looked it up because she texted me and she goes, am I late to the joke, or is Lisa Frankenstein a play on Lisa Frank? And I was like, I haven't heard that. So maybe it's just a wild coincidence. And then I Googled it and they were like, no, we were paying homage to Lisa Frank. And I was like, that's why the dopamine hit me so hard.
Right. I could totally see it. There was also, I did a little bit of research, which I thought was really cool. Oh, her name is Lisa Swallows. We forgot to like put her full name in it because like every time she gets like called in the neighborhood, like at in school, they're like, Lisa Swallows, please come to the principal's office. And I just like, nobody ever like makes a joke about her name. No one ever talks about like that's being her last name, and I don't know why. It just kills me. It's so funny.
No, it is funny. And it's even funnier that no one even says anything about it.
Yeah, like in this day and age, people would just be making fun of the name. I feel like most movies, I feel like, would make fun of the name, like at least have some character.
Especially because it's in a high school.
Yeah, and she has people that are mean to her, so it's like it could fit. Maybe she didn't want to like. I mean, I feel like there's definitely probably some type of maybe like an ideal. I don't know. I mean, the name's funny. I'm trying to think if like there was like, you know what I mean? Like if it's like stepping up in humor, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, not punching down.
yes, yes. But yeah, I also saw though that she named her Lisa after for Weird Science.
Oh.
That is the woman that they create. I've only seen it once, like a long time ago. But the woman that they like reanimate is her name's Lisa.
Oh, okay. Just all of these tie-ins.
Yes, it's so good.
So we kind of talked about how it's a movie that's kind of about grief, but it's also a movie that's kind of about puberty. And it's honestly, when the credits started to roll, I looked at my friend and I went, that was just like really romantic.